Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. This video is briefly going to discuss immigration, specifically Thai immigration. I find it sort of interesting. I have friends and colleagues, family here in the kingdom, and some of them have to deal with Thai immigration. And in fact, in a professional capacity, I have to assist clients on the firm has to assist clients on a fairly regular basis with Thai immigration matters. And somebody asked me pretty well point blank the other day, do I think that Thai immigration is getting more difficult to deal with? And my answer to that question was a qualified yes. In a lot of ways, certain aspects of Thai immigration have not gotten more difficult. For example, retirement visa processing is roughly the same as it's ever been, although there have been some changes with respect to certain formalities, most notably with respect to re-entry permits, as photos are now required. But the other thing, marriage visas are pretty much what they once were, although I will say, and I've published things about this on our blog, and I've also mentioned it in another couple of videos on this channel. The immigration officers, the enforcement apparatus, the investigative side is taking a larger and larger hand and is becoming more, I should say, they're investigating more cases basically. And this was simply just not the case 5 or 6 years ago. They didn't, basically they did their investigation primarily when one came into the immigration office to seek the visa. It's come to my attention that now the ties associated with the investigation of immigration matters will occasionally go to the houses of those seeking marriage visas and will inquire whether or not the marriage is actually a bona fide marriage, etc. Again, that's a fairly recent phenomenon, well, at least on the scale that it's occurring at as of the time of this filming. Another thing that's interesting about it, or another thing that should be pointed out, is yes, business visas, especially business visa extensions, are getting, in my mind, have gotten more difficult over about the past 3 years. In the past, it was mostly a matter of presenting documentation and simply having it scrutinized, and as long as the documentation, taxes paid, genuine business, genuine employees associated with the company, etc., as long as all the documentation passed muster, for the most part, it was a fairly routine thing to get a business visa process through. Now the scrutiny is much more intense. It's simply they're investigating more of these cases. I have had personally dealt with on behalf of clients who work with us. There have been more investigations. Immigration officers physically coming to places of business to ascertain whether individuals are genuinely, doing what essentially they say they are doing on paper. The point being, immigration is more actively investigating matters here, or actively investigating those seeking visa status here in the kingdom. Another thing to point out is about 2 years ago, there was a pretty significant number of deportations from Thailand. There's a new policy, so-called good guys in, bad guys out, and the immigration apparatus is just situated in such a way that they are seeking more deportations of what they consider to be undesirable individuals in the kingdom. So it's something to keep in mind. In my opinion, in a way, it is getting more difficult than maybe it was in the past, but there is an argument that perhaps in the past maybe things were a little bit lax and they're simply tightening things up. That being said, it's not a bad idea for those, especially those who are operating a business here in Thailand, to get some professional advice on dealing with immigration matters in Thailand, as they can be rather complex and they can have serious ramifications for those whom they impact.